Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's right, guys. We're on the podcast, episode 2. Let's jump in.
So excited.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So what was we talking about in the previous one?
Well, it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, the thing is, we have a podcast talking about our, summit 2023. Well,
Sure.
it's 2020. It's already 2024 now, right? We've been talking about our roadmap.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember you were talking about a bunch of new features, and I think we should talk about the business strategy part in this podcast.
Yeah, because in the roadmap we talk about what new features, new strategies, new plans we have for the Yeastar P-Series PBX system. And why do we make those decisions?
Sure.
It's actually quite important. We talked about our, judgment, over the future, where the box moving system won't bring us very far, and we need to find a way out for Yeastar and of course for our distributors or partners, right?
Sure. So this episode is more like FAQ. We got a bunch of questions, and we shall solve these things.
Well, actually, this correct. Yes, because in the afternoon we have breakout sessions, right?
Yeah.
And we receive a lot of questions, good questions that get us thinking. That we really, and we think they are really, really valuable questions.
Exactly.
Because they are very typical confusions or worries when people are, transmitting their business from traditional reselling PBX boxes into, new, UCaaS service, type of business, right? So this is actually what we're trying to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to recreate some of the the heated discussion.
Yeah, exactly. I guess we shall pick some, questions, which really matters for all of our partners.
Yeah.
So we can just bring them over here.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, guys, for this breakout session, for some of you guys, if you don't know this one, we got 3 topics, right?
3 topics.
Your topic is the cloud business, talking about the cloud PBX.
Yeah.
My topic was talking about the subscription-based service.
Yeah.
And also we got another topic hosted by Horace. He was talking about the big project.
Yeah.
Sure.
Well, basically, mine is about cloud business. Cloud transmission.
Right.
If you are, willing to, take a chance and go for cloud from traditional PBX. Well, this is my session, and in my session we talked about what are our challenges and what should we do, right?
Sure.
In your session, it's basically okay. If you want to stay with hardware for SMBs, what additional value can you get from this business?
I think in some points, your topic and my topic, we get something similar.
Yeah.
Because we both are talking about the subscription-based solution, right?
Yeah. And well, of course, the one Horace is in charge of is the big projects.
Yeah, I think that's going to be another topic.
That is going to be another topic. Well, the thing is, I believe we've been encountered with very similar questions or very similar. I don't want to say challenges, but confusions, from our partners in our session, right? Well, things are the same. No, in my session, there is one customer, one of our distributors, that give us a question that is really, really typical, that is really interesting. And I want to share with you guys. So he asked me, we've been talking about cloud business and how things works, and he comes up and ask us this question. Okay, so in my country, SIP trunks are not stable.
All right. So that's the infrastructure issue.
Yeah. So if I am to provide cloud PBX to them, if my customer is using a hardware PBX, they can come to us, right? They can come to the resellers or the distributors, the installers. But if they are working with a cloud PBX, who should they come to? Yeah. if they have a problem, and if they're using SIP trunk, it's very likely that they're going to have problem in their country. But I'm not going to say which country are they from, but this is their issue.
Okay, right? I think this is more like two questions. Question number one is they got some issue on the infrastructure. So how do we solve this? Because the cloud system is pure virtualized. It's based on the network. If you got a poor network condition, so absolutely it will affect your phone system. And the second question, I guess, is gonna be the responsibility for maintenance, troubleshooting, all the stuff like this, right? Yeah. A good question, first of all, you know. For the first one about this infrastructure, I just want to share you guys some ideas. Actually, I collected some information from our partners in China, in our domestic market. Because we have same issue happen here in some provinces. Because you know China's big, we have different provinces. So we have the same issue from some of our partners. They were talking about the same thing, like, hey, you guys are trying to promote this cloud business to the market. That's a good thing because this is something new. And also this is exactly what is happening in the future. But here's the deal. In some area, for some particular area, when I try to push the cloud business, the cloud solution to my end users, the thing here is they don't even have a proper SIP trunk. The only thing left in their office will be a bunch of telephone lines. It might be analog or digital trunks. So it's going to be really hard for me to promote the cloud business. But actually, I don't think that's a big deal. Guys, I think you might probably forget one thing, which is called voice gateway. Yeah. The reason why I mentioned the voice gateway is that's a true story. Some of our partners, they do their business in this way, like this. They will just take a bunch of gateways all together with our cloud PBX and they mix them together. So all of your landlines, whatever it is, we can keep it alive. And the connection between the landline and the cloud business will be, you know, that's the SIP trunk created by yourself.
The gateway will transcode from SIP to analog and from analog to SIP.
Exactly. And the thing here is for the user experience, nothing's changed, guys. You will still have a very stable, right? Same as what you had before many years ago. You will have a good quality for your audio, for your communication. So it's the same thing. My point here is for end users, we don't need to, you know, like overthink. I think that's more like overthink. Don't think too much about it. Because for end users, what they care about a lot is always going to be the user experience. I'm just looking for a solution. So as for what kind of solution are you going to provide it to me? Is it cloud-based or hardware-based? Is it SIP trunk or traditional analog trunk? I don't care.
This is from technical side.
That's right.
If you can get it to work, then it's okay. I don't need to know what does this specific equipment does, how does it work. As long as I pay for it and it works.
Right? Yeah, that's right.
But that's actually a second question that this guy asked.
The responsibility part.
No. We actually mentioned, you know, you can get gateways, right? But the thing is, he gave us another question. So, yes, we know that. We understand that, of course. We are distributors. But the thing is, that's extra cost, right? And for SMBs specifically, an extra piece of equipment means extra cost. And if we are adding the cloud business cost, then we better just use a small on-site, you know, hardware PBX. Because cloud PBX plus gateways are more expensive. Of course, this is true, right? Maybe in those countries, in those kind of countries where SIP trunks are not very, advanced, developed, stable, or even in some countries, SIP trunks are not even supported, are even not even legal.
Sure.
I know some of you guys are surprised, but yes, it's true. In many countries, SIP trunks are not legal. But in those countries, actually, cloud PBX existed not for small business.
Not for small business.
Not for small business.
Wait a second. That sounds interesting. So what kind of customers will be the target?
Yeah. So those customers, cloud PBXs, in those countries where SIP trunks are not good or even not supported, Cloud PBX is a perfect solution for big corporation, big organizations with bunch of, branch offices.
Branch offices.
Yeah.
I think I got your point. So it's more like a virtualized system, but it gives you lots of flexibility for multi-size, right?
Exactly. Those kind of organizations, well, they can afford extra gateways.
Sure.
It's not a big cost for them.
Yeah.
Their biggest cost comes from phone bills, charging by service providers for their internal phones between branches. Yeah. In those countries,
because you don't have SIP trunk.
You don't have SIP trunks. So all the lines between offices are E1 lines, are analog lines. That means they're expensive. Yeah. It is expensive to install and expensive to use it.
Yeah.
For every across
That's
office
extremely
call,
expensive.
Yeah. For every across office call, it's money.
Sure,
right?
Sure.
Service provider charges you. It's the same issue in China here, right? Many companies, they use E1. Big companies, they use E1 between offices. What the service provider does is they give them a package, like an annual cost. It's still expensive, right? So if in those countries we offer cloud business, cloud PBXs as a corporation phone system, therefore the PBX is hosted on cloud, and the branch offices, they just register their extension to this, central PBX, and they can call each other free.
Sure.
Right?
And I think this is even easier for us to configure because you don't even need to configure the inbound, the outbound, the extension numbers, because you guys are using the same PBX.
Yeah. So they save a huge amount of phone bills. They just buy a couple of extra gateways.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a pretty interesting point, and I think that can be really inspiring for some of our partners if we have something similar like this.
Yeah, if you are from a country where the SIP trunks are not, even not are not stable, not developed, or even not supported, not legal, it's okay. Cloud PBX can be a good solution for bigger organizations, as we mentioned, because its nature where it can just easily interconnect, multiple branches with no extra fees, right? Sure. This is pretty good for them. You just need to target on a different market, and for SMBs, infrastructure is a big issue. We cannot go there to support to solve it, but this is the fact. You still got a chance with cloud PBX, right?
Sure, yeah. Well, that's an interesting point.
Yeah, that's the first question I got.
Sure.
Right. The second question I got here is, actually more interesting from the same guy.
Yeah.
He asked us this. Okay. It's actually quite interesting because I really want to answer the question
we're not supposed to do that.
But I am the host. I have to suppress my urge to go out there and answer the question. But no, I can't. So the things got a little bit complicated.
Now you got a time for freestyle. Just go ahead.
Well, the thing is, he asked me this. Okay, so not ask me, ask us here.
Sure.
So if I am doing a cloud business, then the customer have to pay for, first of all, the cloud PBX.
Yeah.
Right? And they have to pay for the trunks. And they have to pay for the services.
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
That's right.
The services. Because, as he mentioned, in their country, the SIP trunks are not stable. They will constantly have problems. So the customer will be requiring services. Right. So therefore, the customer have to pay 3 times.
Yeah. According to this description, that's right. 3 times.
Have to pay 3 times. But if we're doing a hardware PBX, the customer just have to pay the PBX. Right? When it comes to the trunks, it's just directly with the service provider.
Yeah.
Right? And they have to pay the installers or the dealers the PBX, and the dealers are only responsible for the PBX part. Right? And it's simple. How can I convince the customer to pay 3 times?
That's a good question. That's a good question. Well, but just hold on a second. Hold on a second. I think, first of all, that's a good question, and it even confused me for a few seconds. I even, get into it. But actually, I think we shall think about this question in a different way.
Yeah, this is actually a very, very typical confusion. If you
keep a very traditional mind, absolutely it will confuse you guys. That's why I said, hold on a second. I think probably we just need to change our mind about this question.
Exactly.
I mean, think about it. Previously, you were selling the hardware business. Hardware PBX. A sure thing. Your business model will be like that. You're not supposed to charge end users about the trunk, about infrastructures. That's right. But now, you're selling the cloud PBX with a whole bunch of services. Are you still a box mover? Just ask yourself.
You are no longer a dealer.
That's right. That's my point. I don't think you're going to be a box mover anymore. Any longer. Right. Your identity is supposed to be switched to the service provider.
So that means the customer should pay everything to you for everything about their phone system.
That's right.
And you should be in charge of everything about their phone system.
Yeah.
Therefore, you got way more benefit.
Sure.
Right?
Take your responsibility and also take the calculation. And don't tell end users about all this because they don't even need to know that.
Yeah, this is actually a very interesting point. In many businesses, it's a little bit difficult for dealers, for dealers to transmit from a product provider to a service provider. Why? Because if the customer got the product, they don't need your service anymore.
Exactly.
Because they have basic knowledge about the product. They can do it by themselves. But actually, that's kind of the beauty of our business, the phone system.
Right.
Because most customers, 99.99% of the customers,
you don't have the particular knowledge.
They have zero knowledge background about their phone system. Right? And it's quite expensive to hire someone specifically for the phone system. For a phone system. And to be honest, if you spend that money to hire a specific guy for your phone system, that guy will be free. Will be
9 times out of 10, he's gonna be free.
Will be playing his phones most of the time, right? Because if your phone system is working okay, you got nothing to do. Right? It's quite expensive. Right? It's impossible. So the customer will never. It's a little bit absolute. In most of the cases, they cannot deal with the phone system by themselves. But they need it. So they need a pro to help them. Right? You can be the pro. You go out there and be a pro, right? I give you this one question. So if you are starting a company, right? If you're doing makeups, right? A company that do makeups. What do you know about phone system? When it comes to phones, what do you need? What comes to your mind?
If I'm the business owner of this makeup shops, anyway, what I know about phone system is just the phone, the telephone.
I have a phone. I need a phone.
I need a phone, and I also have a number.
I need a number.
That's it. Nothing else.
Or I know that I need a auto attendant where my client call me. A voice will come up.
Exactly.
That's the description we get, right? So that's as much as they know, right? But think about it. If you are selling PBXs, you need to explain because the PBX, the box, is the product that you sell. So you need to tell them, okay, you need to get a number. The number is from service provider. Most people know that, right? I have phones. I can give you phones, right? But I have to install this additional box for you because even though you usually make calls with your phones, the calls have to go from the phones to the box, then to the service provider.
Right.
So things can work. You have to explain this. Explain to the customer why they need this box.
That's it. Right? You are supposed to spend some time to educate your end users, to convince them why they need to spend a lot of money on that box. Because for end users, it doesn't make sense. I mean, seriously.
I got numbers. Why do I need this box?
Seriously, for end users, when you try to explain them, hey, this is the box you need, and this is really expensive.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense for them.
Yeah. But if you're doing cloud business, there are no bugs.
Yeah.
There are no bugs. Okay. You need phones, I'll give you phones.
Right.
You need numbers, I have numbers.
Sure.
Or you have number yourself, right?
Right.
I get in there, I set up router, switch. This people can.
Yeah, they'll understand that for network.
This. Okay,
Sure.
They know this is internet stuff. Okay, and you connect them. You doing a couple of configurations on your computer, and things works.
Yeah.
Right.
And the point is, I think you're gonna offer the end user a more reasonable price because you're gonna charge them monthly.
Yeah, this is actually.
It makes sense.
Yeah,
it's just like your mobile service.
Yeah.
Nobody cares about what is the mobile service, but they're gonna use it, and they never ask what is this.
Guys, if we are the thing is, if you really think about it, we pay for the service provider for our mobile phones, right? For the phones, many of you guys buy the phones from the service provider.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You got the phones. That is the end point.
Sure.
That is like the IP phones on your desk.
Yeah.
Right? It's more expensive, but it is the thing, right? And then you got the number from the service provider as well.
Yeah.
Right? But if you really think about it, did you pay for the switch that connect all the phones from a service provider? Yeah. Yeah.
That's right.
You do.
Yeah.
But where do you pay? How do you pay? Did they tell you that you pay for the switch?
They never tell you anything about it. They just tell you, hey, this is your service pack.
Yeah.
And I will charge you maybe $20, $50 per month. That's it. That's your phone bill.
Yeah, they have a very good accountant.
Yeah.
Yeah. They give you a lot of options, but in all the options, expensive or cheap, they all the charges for the switch are all included.
Sure.
You just paid for them.
Yeah.
You already.
That's just the thing I mentioned. You guys, if you change your mind, take the responsibility. Yeah. Come on and do the calculation. You can do the same way.
Yeah. You just need a good accountant.
Yeah.
What you're offering is a service.
Sure.
A service, not selling product.
Yeah.
What service? A service where you will always have a working phone system in your company. So I want to give you another example.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. We have a building here, right? Yeastar have a building.
Yeastar new building.
Yeastar new building. It's a 5 stores, not very big, but buildings. We bought it. So maybe you have noticed that here in this building, you have a lot of nice plants. Actually, huge amount of plants.
Yeah, for decoration. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, some of them are trees. Right.
Trees, bushes, flowers.
Yeah. And they're just in there all the time, and they always look good. Yeah. And sometimes you got different plants in the same spot.
Yeah, it's fresh all the time.
Yeah, it looks good. Imagine if we have to buy all the plants and maintain all the plants, what do we need? We need a good gardener.
Yeah.
Right? Not one gardener, probably
a bunch of. That will be additional cost.
Gardeners.
Sure.
Yeah, to make sure of that. We don't want to do this, right? It's quite expensive, and we have to buy the plants, right? So we got this thing. We call it PAS.
PAS.
PAAS.
Okay, interesting.
Plant as a service. Okay, this is actually what we have here.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys, this is the first time for you to get a new word like PAS.
Yeah, well, the thing is, imagine this. Originally, we have to buy plants.
Yeah.
Plant after plant. If the flower die because it doesn't get proper maintenance, we have to buy a new one.
Sure.
Right? But now we don't buy plants. We buy a service where we need to have good-looking, fresh plant always in those assigned spots.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
So there is a company that is in charge of that. We pay them every month. They send people to check the plants every weekend.
Sure.
Every weekend.
Okay.
If we see a plant that is dying, we just call them. Okay.
They will just switch it, right?
They will come, retrieve the old one, give us a new one, and they may try to save the old one. Probably, save it. If it looks good again, they may give it to other companies, or they may give it back to us next time.
Right.
It's okay. But it saves us a lot of money. Why? Because we don't get to buy the plans.
Sure.
We don't get to hire gardeners, and the plans always look good. Our company always look good.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty smart way, guys.
Yeah, and this company do not offer plans. They are not selling plans. They are selling a service where you will always have good-looking plans in your company.
Yeah, that's pretty smart.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
So if you are selling cloud PBX, you need to think of this company.
Yeah, exactly. I think we can do the same way.
Yeah.
Not just I think. I mean, it's supposed to be the same way.
It's supposed to be this way. If you are doing cloud business, you are no longer reselling boxes.
Yeah, there's no box. You can't just sell the box.
Yeah. And the thing I really want to say in this breakout session to this guy who asked us the question is this. Well, I actually get to say it, but because of the limited time, I don't get to expand it. All the problem he mentioned, SIP trunk issues, services issues, right? They are all true.
Yeah.
We're not saying it's not true. We're not saying you are not going to have this problem with Yeastar. No. You are going to have this problem no matter what service provider you get, no matter what PBXs you get.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with all those problems, it emphasizes the value of a good service provider. Who? You.
Yeah.
Because those problems exist, and you are the people who can be there and as a pro and solve all those problems. The customer pay you.
Yeah, that's just how you're gonna bring your value to your customers.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. This is the business that you do. No longer reselling boxes.
Sure.
But offering services. Once again, what service? This service where we provide proper phone system, a working phone system from numbers to endpoints to everything you want, and I will maintain it to you. So you will always have a working phone system in your company. This is the service you get.
Yeah.
Right? Does this make sense?
It really makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, you pay for the bill monthly or maybe annually, and they will offer all kinds of services.
Yeah.
It's not like I think even this business model is even better than the traditional one.
Of course.
Yeah, the traditional one, for example, like I purchased a hardware in my office, but for the whole solution, I will need some other hardwares. So I need to go find some other providers.
Yeah.
If there's something wrong happens on any of these hardwares, I'm kind of looking for support from all these guys because I don't even know what was happening. So I have to grab my phone. I need to make a call to every single one of these providers.
Yeah.
That was crazy. And nobody's going to help me because it truly happens, actually. For most of our cases, if we have some issue like this, when end users is trying to call the provider, for 9 times out of 10, the provider will say, oh, I guess this is not a problem on my side. You might probably need to check with the other guy. They will just try to push it, back and forth, back and forth.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That was crazy. But now, if we can provide them this new business model, it's good for everyone.
It's good for everyone.
Not just for partners. Partners can get more profit, but even this is good. Even this is better for end users.
Yeah.
You got anything wrong happens on it, you make a call. There will be a specialist, a professional. It will just come to your office. Well, actually, they don't need to come to your office. They will just stay online. But they can solve your problem directly because they offer you a whole pack of service.
Yeah, this is exactly what they do, right?
Yeah.
Another interesting thing here is we got this. Well, they don't ask me this question, but it really get me think. Right? So, many of our partners, right? They are used to resell PBXs.
Yeah, traditional business model.
Yeah, and to be honest, if they want to do this kind of service thing, they will need to find a proper team for it. It may not be the same team they got. They might have to make a big, huge change in their company, and it can be expensive, right? So for some companies, they can't afford to do this, or they have other business. They don't want to do this, such a big change on a phone system product line.
Yeah,
right?
Understood. Because if you're just trying to make some changes for this particular product line, well, that'll be a huge cost.
Yeah.
It's not good for your business.
If this is so, what should I do? What should I do if I want to, switch to Cloud PBX?
Sure. Okay, good question. I think there might be two options for you. Option number one, this is like if you got the capability, if you can provide a whole bunch of services. Let's say I'm capable to provide telephone lines, numbers, endpoints, cables, everything. Well, I guess it is just the time. It's right the moment for me to switch my identity to the service provider.
But if they cannot do that,
if you don't have that resource, just go for it. You can find someone else can do this, right? You're supposed to looking for someone who's capable to do this and cooperate with this guy.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you don't want to do it by yourself, you just don't sell directly to the end users.
Sure.
You sell to people who are capable of offering services. You become their providers.
Yeah. That's what you guys were talking about in the main speech, which is the MSP.
Well, not me.
Yeah.
The first part, Damon actually talked
about.
Sure. Yeah, MSPs. Yeah. So here we give two examples, two perfect clients. If you don't want to be a service provider yourself, you can sell to the service providers. You can find those people in your markets. They will be looking into options for good phone system, right? And that's what you can offer.
Sure.
Right? And the first one is ITSP. Well, very, very understandable.
Yeah, they got a whole bunch of resources. Telephone lines is all under their control.
Yeah. It's very, very understandable.
Yeah.
The second one will be MSPs. I know some of you guys may be new to the concept. Yeah, what is MSPs?
I think it's multiple service provider.
Well, so basically, MSPs are the provider.
Yeah.
For all your devices, like for example, I'll give you one example. So if you start a company in China, actually in China we do have a lot of MSPs, right? If you start a company, you will get these phones.
Yeah.
You get these phone calls from those guys, but they won't call themselves MSPs in the call, right?
Sure.
They will ask, hey, did you need to rent printer or computers or any devices like this? They are MSPs.
Sure.
And that's what they do. If you start a company, you will need a lot of devices, from printers to computers, from phones,
cables, fibers,
CCTVs,
cameras,
yes,
intercoms, everything,
sure. Right? It depends on what infrastructure you have, right? But it will be, once again, as we mentioned, it will be quite troublesome, expensive, technically, challenged for you to hire somebody who can manage everything by yourself.
Yeah.
And you don't want to pay them much to buy those things because, you want to run your company at a low cost.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You need your currency in important things.
Sure.
Right? So those company appears. They have those things. They rent it to you. You don't have to pay that much one time, right? You just pay them monthly, and they offer you those equipment. And most importantly, they do not only give you those equipment, they also maintain those equipment. Imagine if your computer just died.
Okay.
If you buy the computer yourself, you have to call
the support. Sure.
Yeah. But if you got a computer for them, hey, my computer just died. And they will come to you with a new computer, right? They will switch with the dead one, and they will try to fix that by themselves. And you got the new computer, right?
Sure.
This is the business they do. They are MSPs.
Yeah.
Right? Well, I just give you an example as with the computer because this is the most straightforward thing.
Sure.
But they offer a lot of things, a lot. Even softwares, CRMs and stuff, they can all offer to you. So it means that they are like the technical provider of your office, right?
Yeah.
And of course, phone system is part of it.
Yeah.
Right? And they can offer you, if they can offer you phones, they can offer you, PBXs, of course.
Sure.
Right?
Sure.
They are actually playing a very important role in offering phone system. And absolutely, according to our researches, well, they are getting more and more important on PBX sales, phone system sales all the time.
Sure.
You just find those people.
Yeah.
And those people, they do not know that much about phones. But I'm not saying that they're not professionals,
Okay.
but they're not as professional as you guys.
I think I get your point. It's like these guys, they're capable to do almost everything, but they're not that professional on a particular thing.
Yeah.
They know how to integrate things. Like, I'm going to integrate a bunch of things all together, mix it all together as a whole unit, which is going to be the package of the whole service. And I'm just going to deploy the service to the end user. Yeah. Because end users, they're looking for the service and the solution. They don't care about what hardwares am I supposed to deploy in my office. They don't care about this.
Yeah.
They just care about, hey, I'm going to start my business with this company, with this building. You're supposed to help me to figure out everything.
Yeah.
That's it. So I get your point. Like the MSP, they don't really care about, hey, exactly how many features do you have on that PBX. They just care about, hey, this is what I'm looking for. Yeah. My end users, they wanna, they're expecting to have such a solution like this. Yeah. So can your system do like this, like this?
Yeah. So what they will ask for are general features.
Sure.
Right. They can make phone calls.
Yeah.
Basic IVRs.
Exactly.
Call recordings, right? Of course, side features or extra features like UCs. They were looking into UCs because
exactly.
Because remote office is actually very hot right now these days, and all those detailed features they don't know, they don't care, but the customer might need it.
Yeah.
And you will be the guy as the owner of the phone system business, in the area, who are experts.
That's also the word you mentioned. The beauty of the work, you guys get the specific knowledge on it.
Yeah.
You're professionals. Yeah. So you just need to find these guys, these, integrators, MSPs, and give them this particular solution.
Yeah. I have one more question. This is actually from me. I want to ask you.
Sure.
If our partners are to sell the phone system to the MSPs, how should they do it? Or what are the sell point for the MSPs?
So you mean like what MSPs care about
when it comes to a phone system?
Okay, good question. Very good question. I think
we will try to answer it here.
Yeah, of course. It's not a breakout session.
Yeah.
Sure. I think there will be a couple of points which comes to my mind at the very beginning. First of all, it's going to be the compatibility with hardwares, with other hardwares. Like we're selling the phone system. So I cannot put a PBX there just for the phone system only. I will need a bunch of hardwares like endpoints. In the market, there are so many brands of the IP phones. That's it. So the compatibility with all these IP phones. This is the first point. And the second point, of course, we need telephone lines. So what about the compatibility with my SIP chunks? Maybe I have one SIP chunk or a bunch of SIP chunks. So you're supposed to be able to integrate with these SIP chunks. And also I'm thinking about the traditional telephone lines. I got landlines, E1 channels. So you're supposed to give me this IP-based solution with a gateway. If you don't have the gateway, that's not going to be the solution. This is the second point. And also something else will be unified communications you mentioned. Because for end users, basic call features, I guess they don't care about it. They just need a phone call. Well, I guess they care about a lot will be some unified communication functions, like the integration with their CRM system, with their Microsoft. This is what they're looking for. I mean, think about our jobs. In our daily life, we use these softwares, these solutions almost everywhere.
And there's a good chance that these platforms are also provided by the MSPs.
That's right.
So
Yeah, that's another point. That's going to be another point. So they also care about, hey, because I'm going to be the one to provide the whole package of the service to the end user. So what about my maintenance? Yeah. If you're trying to provide me something new, a phone system, can you put this phone system on my system? Because I need to provide the maintenance.
Yeah, there is a very good chance that they have their own platform to manage all the equipment that they offered.
Exactly.
So your system should be able to integrate to their own system.
Yeah.
Right?
To their own management system. Yeah. And also one more thing, which truly matters, is going to be the system stability.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to start the partnership with this new guy, the new vendor. You're trying to provide me something new. So exactly, how does it look like? Because I'm going to be the guy to take the responsibility for my end users. Yeah. If there's anything wrong happens on your phone system, just like I said, end users, they will not going to ask, oh, that's a problem on the phone system. They will just blame you. Yeah. Because you're the guy who's selling me the whole pack of the service. Now I cannot make a call.
Yeah.
That must be your problem.
Yeah, solve my problem.
Sure.
And we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I believe these are all true. But I think for the most smart thing that we should do here is to ask someone who is really an MSP. Maybe we invite someone to our podcast?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
I think
maybe,
so.
But we need to look into it.
Sure, and also even for you guys.
If you are MSP,
come join us.
Join us. Let us know.
See, that's the commercial part for today's podcast.
Yeah, please put the mailbox of me and Jason in the description.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are MSPs, if you want to get on our podcast,
contact us, please.
Yeah, contact us.
I mean, seriously, guys, we're gonna be really happy to have you guys join this podcast. Yeah.
And okay, so these are for the MSPs.
Sure.
Right. And there is another people that is ITSPs.
Yeah, which is more important, I guess. The ITSP is more important. And talking about the ITSP, I think there are a lot of things we can even talk about. Of course, we cannot finish it in this session.
Yeah,
we're supposed to have another episode to talk about it.
Yeah, and we will invite someone who is really an ITSP.
Yeah.
To this podcast.
Sure.
We already get our first guest star.
Yeah.
And that is a lady. Yeah. We already have everything settled, contract signed, money paid.
Money paid. All right. Okay.
Okay. And this guest will be here as an ITSP.
Sure.
Talk about how they choose a proper phone system.
Yeah.
Right? How their customer choose a proper system. So therefore you will know how can you cooperate with them? What's the selling point? How can you introduce the phone system to them?
Sure.
Right? This is good.
Yeah. I believe there will be some inspiring points when we have the conversation with this ITSP. That will be pretty interesting because most of our partners and our, customers, they're more like, the professionals for the phone system or the MSP. We know a little about the ITSP. So this is going to be a good chance.
Yeah, this is a good chance.
Sure.
Right? So we cannot promise it will be on next episode, but in next 2 episodes, you will surely have our guest from ITSPs.
Okay.
Yeah. Right, good. Okay. So yes, we're going to talk about the ITSPs, of course, and in the future, if we got chance, we will surely talking about other, business, other breakout sessions, the things we've been talking about, of course. And by the way, if there are any topics that you want to discuss with us,
sure, you guys can also let us know about your thoughts, any topics you want to hear from us. Let us know.
Yeah, you can actually visit our website.
Sure.
Of the podcast. You can also find it in the description.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Officially, we never, tried to introduce our podcast, guys. So first of all, guys, if you're listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or Google Podcasts, any podcast platform, make sure to subscribe it. Yeah. And also, you guys, if you're visiting Yeastar's website, Yeastar.com, and you can also go find our podcast there. Subscribe it, which truly matters. Of course, the podcast is also synced on the YouTube channel.
Yeah. So if you want to look at us,
The video version. Okay. Go back on the YouTube channel.
I don't know why you want to look at us. Even I don't want to look at us, but if you want to, it's okay.
Sure. Okay. All right.
Okay. I guess this is it for this episode.
Sure. Yeah. We had a good time with this episode too. All right. Of course, we will talk about more details about the ITSP in the next or maybe the following episodes.
Yeah, and if you are MSPs and if you want to come to our podcast,
once again, please
let us know.
Contact us.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah. Like us, subscribe us. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Catch you guys in the next one.